back.
Yeah. Well, you know, you never believe the reviews, because if you believe the good ones, gotta believe the bad ones.
That was fun. All right, so you guys are streaming to YouTube. I'm going to drop out of this. It's just the 5 of you?
It's just the 5.
All right, Dave, let me hit you on FaceTime, or that'll probably take up your bandwidth.
And who's playing today? Who's at the end?
You have female girl, Scarlett. What's her name? The girl that played with us, I think, at the Ziggy.
Taylor Sackson.
Taylor Sackson.
She's awesome. Is she tested yet? We don't know, right?
Yes, she did.
Oh, she did.
Yeah. This is going to take up my bandwidth, dude.
All right, so let me just push this live then, and I'll hang out and we'll do behind the scenes. All right, we're going live on Facebook, on YouTube.
All right, thanks, Mark.
3 minutes till we're live for the show, you guys.
But we're live for the rerun.
We are going live. We're on YouTube, fellas.
Let's pray for the
connection
God.
Let's pray that what's his name, the guy that wants to buy Twitter. Why am I having a mental block?
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk's Skynet gets us through this show.
Come on.
All right, y'all are live. I'm dropping off here. I will push you live at 5:30 on Facebook. Have a fantastic show, people.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Okay, everybody tense up.
Oh man,
screen. I'm only getting who's talking and myself on my screen right now.
Right.
There's Norwood.
Yeah,
there's my brother. I haven't seen you. There you are.
Clench your butt cheeks. If you clench your butt cheeks and try and draw your nuts up towards your chin.
Well, we are live on YouTube, everybody. So if you're checking us out, make sure you're subscribing, clicking that notification bell, and let us apologize in advance if our internet service is not so hot tonight, because I'm in the middle of nowhere and relying on Elon Musk's Skynet to bring us to you. So there you go.
And where are you, David? Tell everybody where you're at, brother.
Well, should I just wait, or should I just? I'll wait for the show. I'm in one of the most beautiful. I'm in one of the most beautiful sacred places on this planet. That's where I am.
Give us the earlier listeners just a sneak, like a teaser.
He's in a Winnebago. It's an incredible Winnebago.
Incredible Winnebago.
I'm in the historic communications trailer. Now that's
the command center.
If you know, you know, and if you don't, you don't.
Stay tuned.
Yes. Just like a good cliffhanger there.
Was there a Saturday Night Live that parodied that?
Yeah. Parody is nuts.
I'm just praying that Elon Musk has his shit together and this Skynet works.
Yeah.
For real.
Hey, I just got a message from Leo Nocentelli on my.
Ooh, Leo!
Right
I wonder how Leo is. We love Leo.
What up, Leo?
What up?
I had a great session with him put together by Mr. John Hines.
Right on.
I was there.
Yeah.
And
that was at 606.
And Peanut was there playing bass.
Yeah.
And who else was there besides? That was fun. That was a fun day.
Yeah, John Hines has got some great. He knows how to connect the dots.
Bobby,
we're now live on Facebook.
Hey, guess what, you guys? You ready?
We're live.
Let's start this shindig. Here we go.
Time to throw down.
Here we go.
Rock and Talk Show, Beyond Backstage, with your hosts, Norwood Bishop, Kenny Olson, Scott Page, Stephen Perkins, Sheila Conlon, and David Morris.
And welcome to the Rock and Talk Show number 57. This is the bi-monthly show that dives deep into the entertainment business, the stories and culture around business, everything in between all of that. And welcome, I'm the Moss Man. Let me quickly introduce my co-hosts and my brothers. We've got Norwood Fisher from Fishbone. We've got Scotty Page from Pink Floyd. We've got the legendary Kenny Olson and
the famous Stephen Perkins.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
All right, good save.
That's
Is that
the
a good
kind of
save?
dramatic. That's the dramatic pause I like with my introduction. Thank you.
So,
That
so
was
we-
like-
since we have a bad connection, what we got to do is whenever he freezes, one of us needs to jump in and take over.
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
yeah, unfortunately.
I thought we were all frozen in time for a second. I was like, whoa.
let me properly introduce Stephen Perkins, Porno
Hey!
for Pyros, and Jane's Addiction. And we're missing our lovely dear sister, Sheila Conlon, who's out conquering the world somewhere doing something like she always is. So
Yeah.
how we doing? How you guys doing?
Doing great.
Happy.
Yeah, good.
Buddy, life is good.
Perkins, the man of the hour, Porno for
Ooh,
Pyros. Porno for Pyros for the first time in 26 years at the Belasco. Holy shit, that was fun.
it was smoking.
Thank
That
you
was
guys.
smoking. And dude, Perkins, I'm going to say it right here in front of the but dude, you freaking make this shit happen. I'm telling you, man, you lift the whole vibe up and everybody plays with you. That's
I
just the way the
appreciate
thing
that.
works.
Great time. Everybody was there that we can get there. I think I put 42 people on the list. They gave me 8 tickets. So there we go. That's the kind of party I throw.
I
But,
mean, the
I'm
LA
so
Weekly,
happy.
the LA Weekly says, following years of Jane's Addiction, on again, activity, Porno for Pyros was the reunion that we didn't really know we wanted. We know now.
Oh,
And there you go. So
yeah.
That's
Epic.
What, do you have
amazing.
any other shows coming up?
We're playing at the end of July in Chicago, one at the Metro on a Saturday night, and then Lollapalooza Sunday at 6 p.m. It's a big stage, and there's a lot of people, so it's going to be a good time. And then I think we're going to take a look into next year because Jane's Addiction goes on tour October, November with the Pumpkins. So it's a fantastic reunion, the friendships, the music. And it was just a good time that night. Felt like the old days. Really
Oh man, it was just like the old days. Honest to God, you know, a lot of these gigs you're going to now, it just feels so different. But that was like being at the Mayan Theater, first of all, cool, crazy cool venue, right?
Beautiful.
Like the old school, but it had such an incredible vibe. I felt like we were back, man. It was like, you know,
I did a performance
30 years
with
ago.
Norton Wisdom, the painter.
Oh yeah.
And me and Norton did a drum paint battle, and that was cool. And then Porno did 5 songs for like 50 people backstage. Then we did the show. So it was just a night of good times.
and let me just say, you and Norton were the sideshow.
Yeah, exactly. there was some exotic dancing happening while we performed.
I
And I
noticed
gotta
you couldn't
say-
see a thing. I was watching you. I saw where your head was the whole time.
I like to play drums, and when people dance, it makes it better.
Yeah.
I wish I would have been
Thanks,
there.
guys, for coming out. Kenny and Norwood, there's going to be more gigs, and I hope you guys are part of them.
Yeah, I'm
And,
fine. I'm gonna come
yeah,
get you
man.
in Chicago. Hang with you in
Yeah,
Chicago.
that'd be great. Come out Chicago, Kenny. If that actually happens, it'll be the greatest time to see you there and play
Yeah.
these songs. And my son's going to come.
Yeah.
Your son's going to come. It'll be family affair. Family.
That's what, it's a family affair.
And Norwood, you had a gig too that sadly, please don't feel like we don't love you.
And we
No.
do love you.
But it was
I-
26 years since they played together.
Yeah, no, I was like, I didn't think about that when I took on the gig, but I actually had it was under the Terpsichorean Funambulist moniker.
I love that.
That's awesome.
The Norwood's telepathic Terpsichorean Funambulist was,
Well,
but I brought out actually Fernando Pullum came out. I had Sal Marquez on the gig, and he
Nice.
recently had a surgery. hernia, I believe, and you know, he's getting up there in age, and he's not healing as quickly. He's like, I thought I'd be healed, but he's like, I can't do it. And Fernando Pullum came in, saved the day. And so the saxophonist Ben Clatworthy of a band called System 6, who's incredible saxophonist. John Stewart, Chuck Boogie on keys, Jay O'Keefe on guitar, and we just improvised all night.
Nice.
It was like the surf side.
Yeah,
the old surf side, man. Those were so much fun. Those gigs.
It's the same spirit.
But let me just ask you guys. I was just frozen for like 30 seconds. Were you guys still talking?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Is that a superpower at this point?
Yeah.
It's like any
Look at he's stuck right there. It's perfect with his.
He could just will it anytime.
That's brilliant.
Just like,
You know what? You know what's missing is I know Kenny, you're gigging out in Michigan. Can you tell us what you did last week? How'd it go?
good. They rededicated. Well, they put a sign back up because there was a change of ownership at a place that I used to play at when I was younger, back in the Union Street Station, and they put a big sign back up dedicating the stage. And I had a bunch of friends come out and did that. And those same guys are going to participate with me, along with a bunch of other guests coming up from Detroit for my 6th annual Kenny Olson Rock and Roll Golf Tournament. So I'm prepping for that next week.
Where you at, man?
That's on the 24th of July.
Where
at
you
Elmbrook Golf
at?
Course in Traverse City, Michigan. And we're like, it's a big, I've been having fun up here with I've had both my boys were here this week. My youngest is here all summer. And so I've just been enjoying taking care of that. But, this benefit, it's something I couldn't do, with the COVID. And in my honor, my cousin Hallie, who passed of ovarian cancer, and it's Hallie's Hearts, a foundation endowment that she started. So my 6th annual celebrity golf tournament thing. So
congratulations.
Just whatever.
That's awesome.
It's open to everybody. Yeah.
Nice.
Can I tell you?
I'm missing you guys and ready to get back on the road with you guys.
Come on.
Let me tell you where I am, you guys.
I'm having Thinks exit walls.
Yeah.
What was that, David? Now,
David, where the hell are you?
He's frozen.
He's
frozen.
The secret.
He's with Disney. He's hanging out with Walt Disney. Frozen.
Well, the good news, is I can see here on the, I've got the Facebook, he's stuck, but we're still talking. So that's a good thing.
That's good.
So whenever he gets stuck, we got to jump in, right?
You guys got to jump. It's almost like a game show. Like,
right.
Let's see. It's like musical chairs or hot potato.
Musical host.
So let me tell you where I am, you guys, because I'm in a very, very magical place. I'm at a music festival in Humboldt County called the Northern Nights Music Festival, and it's on the sacred ground where Reggae on the River took place forever and ever and ever. And I'm in the communications trailer. My dear bud Dan Greeby, for 30 years, this was the epicenter of the Reggae on the River Festival, and he kindly brought it down to the festival for me, knowing that I was flying up. And my nonprofit JAMED, we do emergency services at large festivals. We used to do it at Reggae on the River. We did it at the Sierra Nevada World Music Festival, and we're doing it here. And we're just praying that it's a safe weekend, and our job here is to keep everyone safe and alive. We've got doctors, nurses. We set up a 24/7 MASH hospital. There's 10,000 people camped out on the river bar. Starting
drug-free, right? Morning. This is a drug-free zone. Drug-free.
Yeah.
No drugs.
Yeah. If the walls of that trailer in could talk, would we have some good stories? I bet.
Oh man,
it looks like it's resonating literally.
So it literally is. Actually, it literally is. So I'm just stoked to be up here because all the people that coordinated and ran Reggae on the River are all here, and it's almost like an old family reunion. And it's so beautiful to see that I haven't seen in so many years, and I'm just grateful to be here and having a good time. But I do apologize for the intermittent, musical host situation. But hey, last show, it was our show, but we also had Bella Moulden join us and sing a song, and she was amazing. So
crazy cool artist. That's her tone of her voice, and just she kind of gives me. When I hear her do her stuff, it's a little Black Keys-ish with that girl. The way she smacks the guitar and those crazy sounds and stuff. I loved her. She was great.
She is definitely got a beautiful old soul. She's
and we're gonna. And tonight we have an amazing show and an amazing guest with a beautiful old soul as well. But let's bring in our guest right now.
Yes.
Bringing into the room we have the legendary Butch Denner. Butch basically was the tour manager for the band and Levon Helm. So Butch is coming in right now, and Butch is going to have some stories.
Hello, good evening. Hello.
Welcome, Butch. How are you?
How you doing, Butch?
All right.
I'm doing really, really great. It's 2022, and I'm talking to all y'all. So I'm good.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you for being here. This is awesome.
Where you at?
I'm in New Paltz, New York, which is right now corn country and peach country. The Shangam Mountains, very spiritual rock climbing mountains, upstate, an hour and a half north of Manhattan, 25 minutes from Woodstock.
Wow. Do you cook? Do you guys cook your own meals? Like, how do you eat up there?
I go out to the farmer and I get corn and I build a big fire and we throw it in the fire.
I love it, man. So, listen, my name is Stephen Perkins. I'm a drummer.
Brother of the drum.
I like to drum, and everything that Levon did and everything that followed didn't compare because it was so serious, but somehow had a sense of humor.
Oh yeah.
I never met him, but was he dead serious, but also funny as hell? Because that's what his drumming was like.
Unless you crossed him, everything was about having a good time. Everything. If it's not fun, why do it?
Yeah.
And he loved to make the people dance. He used to call me over during the show and he'd say, "Son, I can't see all the dancing." And I'd say, "Boss, they're dancing." So.
And did he always carry that old drum kit everywhere he went? Did he just play everything? It sounded old as soon as he touched it.
Well, the original wooden drums that had that sound, that kick drum on the weight, that burned in the fire with Richard Manuel's piano. But Yamaha, until he changed later on, but all during my years, Yamaha, all I ever had to do was pick up the phone and call the Chicago Yamaha, and 2 days later I get 7 boxes on the porch from Tokyo.
Butch, what's your path into the music industry?
Well, I started as a fan. My mother graduated, rest in peace, from the High School of Music and Art in Manhattan, first class, as a major in cello. And she insisted all her children learned music from the ground up. I played trumpet well enough. I could read music. I could be first chair in the marching band, but you take the music away and I hear Louis Armstrong playing or Harry James playing, and I couldn't do that. So I realized soon, I tried drums, I tried piano. I realized soon that I just was going to be a fan. And then one night I'm in Manhattan, night before my sister's wedding. I had a pocket full of ganja brownies and other things. And it was after the first set at the Lone Star, Levon and the Woodstock All-Stars. I went out to puff and I run into my old friend, Randy Charlante, Levon's second drummer and singer, sang the Richard Manuel, sang the parts that Richard would have sung. And I said, "Hey, Rando, what are you doing?" He goes, "Hey, New Paltz, I'm smoking a joint." He goes, "Really? Come with me. The boss wants to see you." And it turns out the boss was Levon. It was on this ratty old friend of ours bus. And we smoked a joint, and Levon and I hit it off. And that was the beginning of, as they say, a long friendship. And
amazing.
What year was that?
1986. You remember 86?
Oh, yeah.
I do. It was, was having a blast in
Yes,
1986.
Well, you know, it was in between band incarnations, and Levi was in Woodstock, and Woodstock, even to this day, is just so rich with musicians.
Yeah.
The whole Hudson Valley. I mean, we have a band here that we call them the Wrecking Crew of the Hudson Valley. They backed up Donald Fagen on his Night Flyers tour.
Yeah.
And local kids and Connor Kennedy and the Restless Age. And that kind of music still permeates the area. But in '86,
you know, we have a band. It's called Think X. But right now, for the last 3 years, it's been Think Floyd. We do Floyd. But I always wanted to do Think Dan and do a Steely Dan.
Yeah.
And just, you know, we have the right musicians. It's dedication, and it's examining and microscoping the parts. But the music of Steely Dan for me is just such a crossbreed of jazz, soul, and just outright abstract weirdness, you know?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, in 2 different houses, I was in Donald Fagen's study and music room in his Manhattan place and in his Bearsville, Birdcliff place.
Wow.
And I tell you, back in the day, I was turned on to Steely Dan through Larry Hoffman in Orleans. I wasn't a Steely Dan guy, even though they were, you know, Barrytown, Bard College.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, here comes Donald Fagen with this music, and he brings these young kids along, and they just play that music. And I realized that music is so deep and thick.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Layers.
And one of the most brilliant band names of all times too.
They had the record for most automated mixes. I remember it. Like they would he would work on that stuff. Jeff Beccaro, who was
13 guitar players for one guitar lead on one song.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We'll get it, motherfucker.
And then all of a sudden you sit there and you listen to, you know, Black Friday. Who? What?
Yeah.
But I saw him do Black Friday with Levon on the drums, you know. So
wow.
The sonic
at the bar, yeah.
The sonic
well, that's what's quality. Cool. When you got Levon in your world, that's when Keltner will show up, and that's when Ginger will show up, and you know, whoever's on Earth and living at the time, they would show up to see what he did, and that's cool.
That's way cool.
You imagine what kind of amazing like videos would be out there if people had phones back then to catch all those timeless performances. I'm
grateful that
we never got
phone.
I know. Behind the backstage, I'm grateful for the privacy we had.
Yes, absolutely.
That's for sure. That's when rock and roll was rock and roll. But it's just to be amazing. I was just thinking to be able to see all these timeless things that occur, but it's all part of that magical journey of being in the right place at the right time. You know, some things are more sacred. You're right.
Now, you know? we have also mutual friends, the Little Feet guys. You know, Little Feet are family to me. I was just with Kenny Gradney a week and a half ago at the Dodger game. I took Kenny and Tony Brownagel to the Dodger game.
Oh, nice.
And we had a really good time. But you know, Richie Hayward did a song. Rest in peace, Richie. We love you dearly. Richie was a dear friend of mine, and I miss him dearly. But Richie did a song that Levon did. Now, is it Levon or Levon? What?
Well,
how do you say his name?
Once I get down south of Memphis, it's Levon, because when I go down to where he's from, to the Delta, it's Levon, because it was Mark Levon Helm, and his grandson, who's an amazing drummer himself, is Levon Henry. Yeah. So keep your eye out for Levon Henry Collins, Jay Collins and Amy's son, because I saw that kid do a night with the Rock Academy from Woodstock of Grateful Dead, and he's doing Shakedown Street, standing out there with his long hair singing Shakedown Street like he was obviously born to it. It was brilliant. I brought tears to my eyes.
Well, yeah. I was gonna say is Richie Hayward recorded a song that Levon
Give Me a Stone. Ago. Right? Give Me a Stone.
Oh, there he is. He's frozen.
Oh, I'm back.
He's back.
Okay. It was Give Me a Stone, right?
No. Jeez, he gets high, that motherfucker.
He got tricks.
Okay. But it was Give Me a Stone. Richie Hayward was the best man and drummer at my wedding.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, it was an act of mercy. I was dying at the time, not to be dramatic. I was waiting for a liver for 8 years. And when I got married, I was really sick. And all the musicians came. It was like a farewell. I had Jimmy Vivino, who's the finest in the land, and Larry Campbell and his wife, Teresa, and Eric Lawrence, jazz sax player, but also Levon's band, Richie Hayward on drums, Patty O'Shea, who was the blues guitar player during Levon's Barnburner days when he couldn't sing, and Lincoln Schleifer, amazing bass player. And we had it at Mohawk Mountain House, which is a 1869 castle on a private mountain. And years later, Jimmy Vivino says to me, Butchie, if we knew you were going to live, we would have given you a bill.
Yeah, he told me. Well, you know, the doctor gave me 6 months to live. I lived 6 months. He gave me another 6 months. I didn't pay my bill.
Exactly.
Let's talk about your liver transplant for a second. What year was that?
I was transplanted in 2005, 16 years now, thank God.
And
I was on the list, though, for 8 years.
And you have not had to have a second, like you have the original liver that you were transplanted?
I'm lucky to live in New York because even though I'm here in the mountains, I have New York City Medicine an hour and a half away, and Mount Sinai, which is really the cutting edge of hospitals and especially transplantation. They found a loophole because the organ system is like all systems. It's a little political. It's a little weird. Yeah. It's not always how sick you are. It's how many numbers add up from your tests. And I was much sicker than my test showed. And all my doctors at Sinai knew it. And they found a loophole where if the donor and the recipient are in the same hospital at the same time, you don't go through the UNO system, you do it in-house. And I had this guy, Frankie Matera, God bless his memory, his body was being attacked by his own immune system. So all his organs were good, but they were being rejected. So I got a perfectly good, thriving liver. There was no cadaver. There was no downtime. There was no keep the guy alive till I got there. It was from this room to that room. And I've thrived for 16 years, thank God. And Frankie.
God bless.
And Mount Sinai. And my wife. Oh, I can't forget my wife. My wife is the angel.
What year was the first liver transplant? Like Phil Lesh was an early one as well, yeah?
Yeah, Phil, thanks to Larry Campbell and Paul Berea from Little Feat, helped me before my transplant. He's 82 now, God bless him. And he still does organ donation awareness every show. But Phil, the first transplant was 63, I believe. My wife is telling me. I don't know when Phil was transplanted, but when I was sick on the list, 2 different shows, he gave me time to talk to me about the travels, the trip, the journey, where he's at, what he went through, and that helped. And then afterwards, he gave me another long time to talk about and celebrate it. And if I may just be a slightly realist here, unlike that son of a bitch, David Crosby, who had no time for me at Bethel Woods, but that's another story for the book.
I love it. Well, you mentioned there was a funny story about Levon and your liver transplant, or?
Well, you know, Levon's a great actor. And if you've seen all the movies that the boss was in, all the way back to Coal Miner's Daughter, Dollmaker, The Right Stuff, and Shooter. Shooter, he plays 7 minutes in that movie. And he says, come on in, son, have a chair. And every single time he would be in Levon's kitchen, he would say, come on, son, have a chair, have a chair. So I know that line was definitely Levon's. But he got a call, I got a call for him to be in a Steven Seagal movie. And that lit his eyes up. We're going to drive cars. We're going to shoot guns. What kind of a gun? And it turns out the Seagal's guru told him to give up all that kind of movies and use his power to save the world. And this was going to be an environmentally friendly movie. And Levon was going to be a country minister in Kentucky. Get that. And man, you want to see an audition in an upscale Italian private restaurant because Seagal's manager was mobbed up on the Upper East Side in the back room. And, you know, Levon's not shy to catch a buzz before we eat, you know, just getting a little appetite, son. And so we were feeling lit. And we're in this back room on the Upper East Side, and Seagal's manager is being catered to by 15 waiters. Food is coming and going. And Levon's saying, son, we got to go out of here and get a smoke, you know, before the next course comes. And we talked. I said to Steven's manager, "Are we gonna? This is okay. We're done. We're good. Yeah, okay." I said, "We're gonna go out and have a smoke." We went out and had a smoke. We never went back in. That was it. that was the whole deal. He said, "I had enough of that, man."
Oh, that's funny.
I heard Levon liked to do his smoke. You know, Little Feat, when they did the 25th reunion of Waiting for Columbus at Listener Auditorium, and Levon was there, and a whole bunch of people were there. I was supposed.
He was supposed to go to.
He doesn't. You know, I drove Levon to that show, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was supposed to be there, but my uncle was dealing with lung cancer at that time, and I was unable to make it to the show. But it was an amazing show from what I heard, and I got to hear the show. And my partner with the Little Feat Radio Hour was backstage with Levon rolling nonstop joints the whole night, like is what I was told. My partner's from Humboldt County, so there you go.
It was a cannabis-friendly room, I must say, no doubt about it. You know, those are my original Humboldt connections with through the late great Paul Barrere. But no, Richie Hayward was a special soul. Levon always believed in the brotherhood of the drum. You know, the rhythm section, but the brotherhood of the drum. Drummers are a unique section of the human race, and I've been lucky. The guy who got me started is Randy Charlante. He's another singing drummer. He was Levon's second drummer all through the band years after the Woodstock All-Stars and all those crazy nights at the Joyous Lake, you know, in Woodstock. Phenomenal.
You know, I've studied his drumming for many, many years. I'm 55 next month, well, September. So when he sings, his drumming is so sparse and so spacious. And when he's not singing, he uses a little more effort and covers up his basses a little more. And it's just like Hendrix. When he's singing, the guitar style changes just slightly. Kenny would know. And then when he stops singing, the guitar has a little more room to spread the wing. And I always thought, like, as a singing drummer, I'm not a good singer, but the phrasing of the lyrics is kind of like a percussion player or a bongo player playing against the drummer. So it's fun to sing in your head. But he's a remarkable example of lyrical, musical, sensitive drumming. And that's always been like hard to get to people understand. You're not just hitting a hammer and a nail. You're, you know, and guitar players get to brush and stroke it. Yeah. We do have to strike the silence. We have to be confident. We're going to break the silence with this strike, and you're going to move your ass to it. This is where it lands. And it must have been so fun to watch him up close all the time. I'm just so jealous.
It's so true, though, what you're saying, too, the dynamic, you know, when someone's playing guitar, singing, or playing drums, you know, that beautiful simplicity, the space between the notes is there because you're naturally got to sing it and play it. And it's, you know, it's a beautiful thing. So
I got a question for Butch. Butch, so obviously the position you played in that thing, you get to deal with all the musicians in very unique things. What is, can you think, I mean, because I think of road stories and there's always like 2 or 3 that always stick. So what was the craziest road story you can think of that you can actually talk about?
Well, there was one night, it was just me and the boss. You know, Levon, he would get a hair, you know, as a country boy, don't forget, that boy was raised on a tractor with an outhouse until he was 12. Oh. So everything about him is hardcore Delta country. Wow. And I was honored in 91 to go down with him and the former business manager, Joe Forno, and Jimmy Weeder, our guitar player, and Randy, and some other people who had really amazing pot with them. We went down to Helena to the King Biscuit Festival, and we were going to back up my pillow alarm. We were going to back up the great Jimmy McCracklin, who was an Arkansas blues guy who went to Chicago and just returned. So it was Levon and the Woodstock Cats. We called ourselves the Arkansas Hogs. And the Cate brothers from Northwest Arkansas, from Fayetteville, great cats, the Cate brothers, old friends of Levon. And we were in the Delta. And ever since then, that's always just called to me, all of that. And Randy and Levon together, double drumming. If you can find, there's a video, it's called, just look for Levon Helm on singing and drumming. But that's only part of a longer video. Happy Traum is a folk guy up here in Woodstock, Happy and Artie. They go back to the 60s. They're Woodstock royalty. They have Happy has a thing called Homespun Records, where he's brought everybody, all the Woodstock guys, Rick Danko, Levon, Jimmy Weeder. But then our friends, like Vivino was friends with Johnny Johnson from Chuck Berry. And we brought Johnny there. We brought Hubert Sumlin there, plus Yorma and everybody. And they record a how-to video, how to play the blues, how to do this. And Happy Traum recorded Levon with Randy Charlante on how he sings and drums. Now, I neither sing nor drum, but I probably watched that video 100 times. First of all, just to hear his voice.
Wow. Yeah, I remember Hubert told me about that. I toured with Hubert back in the Hendrix tours, and he had so many wonderful stories to tell me, and I remember him talking about that.
Yeah, it was great. But to get back to your question, so he calls me up, and we're gonna go driving. We're gonna go drive down to Arkansas, and it's my Saab, and we rolled, and he smoked, and he fell asleep, and I'm driving. It's about 1 a.m, and he'll wake up enough to say, "Come on, son, come on, give it more, give it more." He liked to go fast. I wouldn't do 110 on those hills and roads, but he would. So it was go, go, go. And we got stopped early in the morning in Tennessee. And it was great. So the first guy's a Tennessee trooper. He comes over to the car, and I see behind him comes a local county sheriff, K9. And I say, "Oh shit, K9." I said, "I know what I got, and I know some of what he got, but I don't know the rest of what he got." You know, meaning Levon. And the trooper's all business, this and that. He said, "Who's that guy over there asleep?" I said, "Oh, that's my boss. That's a musician, Levon Helm." All of a sudden, the Tennessee county guy goes, "Levon Helm? Shit, I drove his caravan when we did the Steven Seagal premiere down here. Let me say hello." And the dog stayed in the car, and everything stayed under the floor mat. And the guy came out, and Levon woke up, put his hat back, and he was Levon. "Hey, man, that was a great ride, man." Because the Steven Seagal film premiered in Nashville on the street with a band with Tony Bronigal, by the way, and Levon, and what's his name, the bass player with the really beard.
Sklar?
Lee Sklar.
Yeah, Lee Sklar, Tony Bronigal, and Levon Helm. Imagine that. Yeah, to Steven Seagal. Well, anyway, they paid well. And the guy, because he drove the police escort to the thing, he never got to meet Lee. So he was meeting Lee now, and he's going to tell everybody that he met Levon Helm.
Wow.
And we drove away from that. Thank God we drove away.
Unscathed, right? Just goes to show you what's in a name. Priority.
Absolutely.
Not what
my wife wants me to tell you. One time we were driving cross country. We were on the tour bus, and I've rarely slept in my bunk. Me and Lee slept in the back, the big kind of like the sofa room. On the Little Feet bus, we call it the burn unit, but in the lounge. And I look up, and the bus driver is walking past me to the bathroom. We're doing 70 at 2 a.m. So of course, road manager, I go up to the front, and there's the boss sitting behind the seat of the bus. He's got a broomstick on the gas pedal, jammed. He's got his feet up. He's smoking a spliff, and we're going down Interstate 70. And I say, Lee, what are you doing? He said, "Son, I told him go pee. If I could drive a tractor, I could drive this." I said, "Yes, sir, but A, you have no license. B, I'm the only one besides him licensed to drive this thing. And C, get the fuck out of that chair." And he slid over, I slid in, and we slid the bus to the side. And next day they flew another bus driver in for us. But that was that was Levon. I could drive the bus, son. So
welcome to the show, Sheila. I have a funny Little Feet story, but I'm afraid to tell it because I'll probably freeze up and we'll have to play musical host and nobody knows the story, so that no one will be able to finish it. But I'll try. They invited me on the road with them, and I stayed in the burn ward. That's where I slept back with Sam.
Yes, sir.
Sam doesn't leave the burn ward.
Bow your head.
And so
Sam.
I brought a jar of weed that I figured I'd set it down in the burn ward, and if someone wants to smoke, they open it up and they take something out. And this is like literally, I show up on the bus, I put the jar down, And the second I put it down, it was like vultures on a dead animal. Like that jar was gone. They gobbled it up, they split it up, and it was gone. And I'm like, Kenny, I need some weed too. Like all of us.
You know, I started baking again back when Lee first started getting sick, making my brownies. And it was a real simplistic method then. But it got him through all of his radiation and his period then when he couldn't sing. And of course, I indulged heavily myself because I have a high tolerance and I make what I consider the best brownies. And we've since transposed all that further and further. So we have like raspberry apricot jam, oat bars, and the ginger cookies. But it's always been a healing thing, you know, through things. But boys from Little Feet, I mean, Freddie Tackett, that boy could eat my cake as good. Paul would eat a nibble and then wait for after the show for the rest.
Exactly.
Freddie and Sam, nah. Let's start now and early and often. Yeah.
He's done so much incredible stuff.
And Richie with a Corona, a 6-pack of Corona afterwards.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Richie, when we did that Lisner show during those sound checks and rehearsals was some of the best ever. And I'm sitting with Lee on the side and some of the other cats. And it was Sam Bush and Freddie Tackett and the Feet guys. And Levon leans over to me. He says, son, if I ever pick up an effing mandolin again, please stop me. Can you see those boys? I can't do that.
Sam Bush. That's one bad boy right there.
Oh,
woo,
and he's
baby.
Yeah.
Woo. Yeah, the Newgrass Revival. I love that band. They were killer.
Really good stuff. Amazing stuff. And with Freddie Tackett, Mr. Arkansas himself, it was just a fun to watch, you know.
Yeah.
But
hey, we got Sheila Conlon here. There, Sheila, meet Butch here. You haven't met.
Sheila's,
hey, where are you, Sheila?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. I'm in Cabo
Turn your
San
phone,
Lucas.
Sheila. Turn your phone. Turn your phone. There you go.
There you go.
Oh, good. Okay. Yeah, I'm in Cabo San Lucas.
Oh,
look at that view.
What?
Oh, look at that.
Yes. So I just got here today. It's beautiful. A lot going on.
Oh, yeah.
A lot going on. But yes, and welcome. It's so nice to have you on as our guest. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're hearing some great stories.
Yeah.
Well, I hope to have some great stories after this weekend too.
Oh, we're praying for your good stories.
Just make sure you can remember them to tell us.
Exactly. Well, David, we're going to be doing a tequila tasting shortly.
Ah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And get this. And get this. I was filming with Warren Moon yesterday, you know, the Hall of Famer.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And he is here in Cabo too. He left this morning. So crazy. I'll be getting together with Warren.
Tell him I'm a fellow Yankee, and so is Norwood. We both went to Hamilton High School.
Yes.
Warren Moon went to Hamilton High School.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. He said he would do our show. So we'll get him on the show.
Oh, that would be fun. That would be fun.
Cool.
The legendary.
Yeah.
I know. So I'll be thinking of you guys when I'm drinking or tasting my tequila.
No drinking.
Don't forget.
Guzzle.
Don't forget to spit it out if you're doing a bunch.
Wait, do I have to spit? I thought I swallow.
There you go. We're getting to that point where we're crossing the line. We're getting the line.
And I haven't said anything.
You guys always get me, so I just got you back.
I know, and I haven't even said anything obnoxious yet. My filter somehow is working and normally doesn't.
Well, I'm going to be popping in and out, you guys. Unfortunately, I got to be on the move, but I will pop in and out, and you guys just keep going. I'll jump in.
All right.
Peace.
Thanks. Good to see you, Sheila.
Yeah, thank you.
Have fun.
Okay.
On the move with Sheila. Love you.
Now, Butch, we heard your pill alarm go off. We don't want you to forget. So, make sure that you reset that alarm so that it goes off in about 10 minutes.
Oh, I took my pills. So, I'm working in Hazard, Kentucky on Fire Down Below with Lee playing that minister. And Lee had private special needs during that time, and I worked a good deal with the Teamsters, the cinema Teamsters, and I would drive him in our Bronco, and I would give them swag. So for about 4 years, everybody in that part of Kentucky had band hats, band shirts, band bags, and I got to drive Levon, so everything was cool by the time he would get to the set. But I was getting sicker and sicker. I didn't know it was liver disease. I didn't know it was Hep C. Nobody knew what it was in those days. And I kept ignoring it, thinking it was the diet. Levon would ignore all the cinema food, and we'd go off into town to get them plate lunches that the Southern boys would eat. And that was, I thought that was making me sick. But it was the Hep C. And one night we were watching the Yankee playoffs in Seagal's house with Harry Dean Stanton and Lee and me. And I got really sick. And I went in Seagal's bathroom and got sick. And amazing amount of blood. I threw up and all this. I felt horrible. But it was Seagal's bathroom. So before I could leave, I cleaned everything up so it looked perfectly white. And I left. And I said to the boss, I said, I'm going to take the Blazer and go see the doctor for a minute. Can you get a lift back? Because Harry Dean lived next to us. So I go to the Appalachian Healthcare Facility. Now, I'm a Jew boy from New York. You see the Appalachian Healthcare Facility, the hair on the back of your neck stands up. But I was so sick. I went there, and they misdiagnosed me. They thought I had leukemia. And the guy had his own cancer clinic. And he saw that Warner Brothers insurance that I had. And he wanted me to start chemo the next day at his clinic, which would have killed me if I listened to him. But Seagal and Lee hired a private plane and lifted me back to New York, where I was probably diagnosed by a local doctor here in Ulster County, Dr. Book, a life-saving saint. And he got me into Mount Sinai liver program. Oh. And it was the early days of Hep C and that kind of stuff. So there was a lot of exploration and stuff. But they kept me alive for 8 years with my wife, who wasn't my wife yet. But kept me alive for 8 years everywhere they could until they performed that miracle transplant. And it's an amazing thing. You come back to life and music a little bit sweeter, you know, and the seltzer tastes a little bit more sparkly. Everything's a little bit nicer.
Another good friend of mine, also a Hamilton.
God bless your wife for being there.
Another good friend of mine, also a Hamilton Yankee. Just had a liver transplant about 2 years ago, and he's doing amazingly well as well. So we just, wish you continued good health.
Thank you. They've come a really long way. It's an amazing thing to watch. They've really come far.
Medical and science is incredible. I'm up here at a music festival in Humboldt County providing medical services and emergency services to everyone. So obviously we're not doing any transplants, but hopefully we're keeping people alive, and it can be a little crazy and a wild festival. Just
Once you've been really sick, you realize that all the care before and all the care during and all the care after is mostly done by saints and angels, because to do that kind of work on a day in and day out basis, it just blows me. I know how sick I was and what I needed, and to see those people take care of me, they're angels from God, and people like you. I mean, I had a heart attack here in my house, and I would have had more brain damage than I have if the local folks weren't so well trained here in New Paltz Police and New Paltz Rescue that they were first on the scene. And my cardiologist was intervened. They flew him in by helicopter to do me. Yeah, I was a double widowmaker, and he said that if it wasn't for the first care I got here from our cops and rescue, I would have had much more brain damage than I gave to myself in the 60s. But
yeah. So basically, you're a cat with 9 lives. You're a cool cat. Yeah. Very
cool cat with 9 lives. Yeah.
I'm so blessed every day. I'm really the happiest guy. I go in the store. They go, "How are you, sir?" I said, "I'm the happiest guy you'll meet all day." But don't forget, I eat my wife's ginger cookies, or I'll eat a piece of a apricot thing. You start your day that way. It's like maintenance.
Are those ginger cookies loaded?
Oh yeah, absolutely. There you go. Thank you.
There you go. Hey, listen,
New York hasn't gotten that far yet. I have.
It's on its way, though. It's in the process right now. New Jersey also, just, anyways, we're at 6:15. We have about 15 minutes left in the show. And this is the time where we bring in a musical guest. We want you to stay with us, Butch, till the end.
Absolutely.
We're going to bring in a young up and coming artist. Her name is Taylor Sackson. Taylor is got some soul. Like, she is an old soul that plays guitar. She's got a great band. Her name's not Andrew Durant like it says on the screen. It's Taylor Sackson.
Hi,
Taylor,
Hey,
welcome
Taylor.
to the Rock and
Good to
Talk
see
Show.
Good to see you, Taylor. Yeah, we actually got to play the first time. I really knew about Taylor was you played with us at the Hotel Ziggy gig, and that was smoking, man. We did Led Zeppelin, man. That was
I wouldn't say we played. We rocked. We
my God.
It was a whole lot on my end. So.
It was radical.
I had to go up right next to Taylor. We did the side-by-side rock and roll move up there. It was awesome.
It felt like I was cool for once, so I appreciate you guys.
Taylor, you are very cool, and not for once. Tell us about Taylor Sackson and your band. Tell us a little bit about what you got going on.
Well, I'm pretty new to LA, which is really exciting, actually. It's a lot less scary than I thought it would be. And so I'm just recording and sitting on an album that I'm hoping to release really soon and playing around. I have a show on July 30th, and I'm also playing your festival, David, but I cannot remember or figure out for the life of me how the hell to pronounce it.
Port Waionimi.
Beautiful. I'm not going to try it, but amazing. I'm excited about that one.
Taylor, where are you originally from?
It's hard to answer that question because kind of a lot of places. I was born in the UP of Michigan, actually. I grew up a little bit in Minneapolis and then a lot in Phoenix before I moved here. So my family just kind of moved all over the place as a kid. So it's kind of cool. I feel like I belong to like a lot of places, but especially now, I really love LA a lot. I don't think I'll ever leave.
Nice. What part of LA are you in? What part of LA?
Right now I'm living in Long Beach, but I'm in Hollywood pretty much every day. So yeah.
Yeah.
And I froze up. So I think you said you're playing a festival that I'm producing in August, the Wanimi Beach Fest.
Yes. Okay. That's how you say it. Amazing. Yeah. I'm really excited about that. So
how'd you say it? Because I missed it.
I didn't attempt it. I was looking for some help.
I said Waionimi.
Yeah. And I kind of had a feeling he was fucking with me.
You're going to love it. It's a great event. We did it last year. Was it last year or the year before? I can't remember.
No, it was last year.
Yeah. Last year we played it and it was really fun. It's a great.
I'm not fucking with you. That's how I say it.
That's how you say it. That's awesome. Good for you.
I mispronounced it so many times. Telling people.
It'll be my first festival since moving out here, actually. So
the people that show up to that festival are just awesome. It's great. It's total just good vibrations throughout that place.
Well,
great day of fun.
I'm just stoked to be a part of it. So
we have some good bands. The day that you're playing, we have you, and then right after you is a Fleetwood Mac band called the Twisted Gypsies, and then after them is the New Orleans Suspects.
Awesome.
Coming out from New Orleans. They're amazing.
So are you, Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, party over here.
He always likes to smile for the camera like this. Just stop and hang with us for the camera.
It's his best look.
It is a good look. Look at that. Look at how nice he looks.
For him.
There you're back, Dave.
I'm back.
The good news is you're not taking the rest of us down, so we're still.
At least it's not a train wreck, right? At least it's not a train wreck. It's
pausing at interesting times, at least too. So it's okay.
We should get you playing.
Yeah, let's get you to play something.
Get rock the spot, please.
So before we do that, I want you to pin her. Scott.
Okay. I'm going to try something. Do I have that, Chop? Do I have the
Scott, I want you to click on Taylor's picture.
Okay. and pin it. Okay, I'm going to pin it. Here it goes.
Yes.
You're pinned.
Cool. Are you ready for me then?
Are we ready?
We're ready.
Okay, very cool. I'm gonna do one of the songs on my new album. It's called 2004 Honda Civic, and it's about my boyfriend with ADHD's piece of shit car. So. Born on the outside, but you love the shit in it. I knew I loved you in the books, but your glove box. You got interesting ideas, and they're honestly your own. You could drive me home. I hope we are right for each other. I do. I hope we are right for each other. I do. 'Cause everything you've ever owned is left on the floor. Still drive me home. Oh, searching for the right words to say, but you took my breath away. I wanted it so bad. I want you to see me. Maybe we'll make an accidentally start a family. I hope we are right for each other. I do. I hope we are right for each other. I do. Because everything you've ever owned is left on the floor. Still drive me home. Oh, searching for the right words to say, but you took my breath away. Everything you ever owned is left on the floor. You still drive me home. Searching for the right words to say, but you took my breath away.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good job. Good job. Now, can
Thank
I
you.
unpin her?
What's that?
I have to unpin
was
you,
cool.
right? Do I have to unpin this, Dave? How
I
does
don't-
that work? I'm
I-
clicking.
That
Up on the top right, there should say, on the top left, it should say remove pin.
Oh, it doesn't.
Then I don't think you actually pinned her, because I think
I know you didn't.
it's
It
all
did.
good
But
though.
Taylor,
That was great.
Taylor.
Thank
Yeah.
you. It's so hard to be stationary and play. Like I just am not used to it, and I got really sweaty because I'm just not used
What
to
what a
it. No,
Oh, because
great-
you
a
rock.
great-
Energy came out.
That was a great
Yeah,
Thank
song,
you.
and
Real
your
rocking.
Thank you
you
for
sounded
having
so damn good.
me.
That was
There we go.
yeah.
Well, I'm excited
That
for you
was-
to hear the album with the full band and the whole
Yeah.
thing of everything.
How many pieces
who-
is your band?
It depends on the show. I don't like to play with the same group every time, but typically it's like 6 to 7 or 8 people. So
I saw
Wow.
Taylor. Taylor's playing at the Mint on July 31st. Is that right?
the 30th, Saturday the 30th. Yeah.
On the 30th. I saw
Wow.
Taylor last time she played at the Mint. Honestly, I'm telling everyone in the world, because we're on Zoom and the quality is what it is, but when you see Taylor live and you can feel that vibe, like you've got that Janice vibe to you, Taylor. Like you've got some soul and the real deal and rock and roll. And I mean, I'm a fan. I'm a big fan. I love it.
Thank you. I get more like mad too the louder the band is. So usually it comes out even more. So
well, the Mint,
well, I mean,
the Mint has got the Mint has got a small stage, but everybody here has been on it with a lot of musicians, and it always sounds good there. It's got low ceilings.
Yep.
And it's dead in the back of the bar, so there's not much reverb and bounce back. So even if you have a 5 to 7 piece band on a small stage there, it sounds great. And I just talked to the owner, Todd. I'm going to celebrate my 55th birthday in September there.
Awesome.
And I have a band called Hell Ride, and we're going to do a Hell Ride show. So I hope you're there. You can celebrate with us.
I'd love to go. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah.
On your birthday. Happy birthday.
Yeah, I got all halfway there. 110 sounds good. 55 is halfway.
Is this our year, Perkins? Then I joined the Double Nickels right after you in November.
Double Nickels.
67.
Y'all a bunch of children. Y'all a bunch of children. I'm 72 and still rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
Good job, Butch.
Good.
Thank you.
I've had a few lives. I've been blessed to be here.
Hey,
Every
you
day
guys,
is a blessing.
you guys, Taylor, tell everyone where we can find you.
The only app I really use a lot is Instagram. So if you find me at Taylor Sackson on Instagram, that'd be.
How do you spell your last name?
Sackson is Sackson. It's like Jackson with an S.
Okay.
So real quick, where in the UP were you born? What area?
I was born in Hancock.
Okay.
Are you familiar with the UP?
Yeah, I have some relatives that are from up in the UP. My grandfather, on my mom's side, lived in the UP when he was younger, and so there's lots of relatives from that stuff. And I play up there from time to time. Yeah, I'm playing. I have a gig in Marquette actually this year.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's most people don't know where the UP is when I mention it, so I'm very happy.
But it's the most. Is it the most beautiful land though? It's like a fantasy land up there.
Yeah, and like the neon lights and all that at night it's ridiculous.
And this is, I mean, the
people.
It's unbelievable. I know.
Let's all go after that.
And all kinds of beautiful wildlife and waterfalls.
Yep.
We're at the end of the show. I mean, this was a fun show despite the technical difficulties we had. I'm gonna have to watch it to hear half the stories because I missed them all. But Butch, amazing. Thank you for
really
us. 72 years with a second liver. There you go, man. That's quite a testament right there. We wish you many more.
Yep.
Thank you,
Taylor.
I just want to say that it was my blessing all those years to be with Levon, Rick, and Garth Hudson, and Jimmy Weeder, Randy Charlante, who was my Italian Calabrese rabbi, got me started, and still the best singing drummer going. And Richard Bell, all those years with those cats, what I learned, what I did, the music was always the music, man. And God bless the music and the music makers.
Absolutely.
Big pink.
and on that note, don't leave us just yet. We're going to close the show out, but in 2 weeks we've got Luther Dickinson that's going to be joining.
Froze again.
We can't feel it. We don't know what he's saying.
Luther.
Luther's brother's playing with Amy Helm now.
Oh, really?
Cody. Yeah.
Cody.
Playing with Levon's daughter. Yeah.
They're badass. Awesome. Luther and Cody are badass. So Luther's our guest on the next show. And then after that, we got the legendary Jackson Brown's going to join us.
Yep.
Excellent.
Very cool.
That's going to be fun.
So on
what's the date?
Taylor,
What's the date for Jackson Brown? What's the date?
August 11th. August 11th.
Jackson Brown on the Rock and Talk Show, 8/11/22, baby.
The day after my birthday. And on that note, here we go. Let's close it out.
See you next time on the Rock and Talk Show Beyond Backstage with your hosts, Kenny Olson, Scott Page, Stephen Perkins, Sheila Conlon, and David Mullins. Executive producer, Sheila Conlon and David Mullins. Producer and director, Eric Lloyd. Assistant producer and creative.
Do I leave?
Breaking music by ThinkX. Sponsors IK Multimedia and Lewitt Microphone. Artist Relations, TPI Film. Special thanks to From the Earth, ThinkX, The Conlon Company, and Mac. Check us out on YouTube/The Talk Show, Facebook and Instagram at The Rock and Talk Show.
Did it play all the way through?
Yeah.
All the way.
Where's Toppy?